Hello everybody, welcome to the 6th session of your first PUC NCERT chapter number 4, that is Animal Kingdom. In last classes we were discussing about different phylums coming under Animal Kingdom. We have covered all the non-chordates, that is from Porifera until Hemichordata, and in last session we did initiate with phylum Chordata. So in Chordata we did study about some of the subphylums, that is Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. In Vertebrata we did discuss about some of the division, that is Agnatha, Gnathostomata. We had covered Cyclostomata which is a class under Agnatha, and Gnathostomata we had studied about Pisces and Tetrapod, where in Pisces we had covered about Chondrichthyes. So today's class will start with one more class, that is Ostrichthyes. So here we can do a comparative study between Chondrichthyes and Ostrichthyes. When it comes to Chondrichthyes, we had studied that these are marine organisms, whereas Ostrichthyes, these are both freshwater as well as marine organisms having a boat shaped body, that is what is called streamlined body or a boat shaped body. Next character, Ostrichthyes have a bony endoskeleton. In case of Chondrichthyes, they had cartilaginous endoskeleton, whereas in Ostrichthyes, these have bony endoskeleton. So here, when it comes to bony endoskeleton, these are less flexible but very strong compared to the cartilaginous endoskeleton. Next character is they have skin with, in case of Chondrichthyes, it was placoid scales. Here it is cycloid scale, or it is also called ctenoid scale. These are also termed cycloid scale or ctenoid scale. These are larger in size compared to the placoid scales of Chondrichthyes. Next one, when it comes to their respiration, here they have 4 pairs of gill slits. There are 4 pairs of gill slits and these are covered with operculum. These are the protective layer. Now if you see in this, there are 4 pairs of gill slits. They have a outer protective covering like this, that is called operculum. If you have seen in any aquarium fish, you can see that the operculum keeps on flapping like this. That is for respiration purpose. So there is a protective covering called operculum which covers the 4 pairs of gill slits. Whereas in Chondrichthyes, there were 5 pairs of gill slits but there were no operculum. Next character is presence of air bladder for buoyancy. So they have air bladder for buoyancy. That means they need not swim continuously throughout their lifetime. They can move in water for few time without flapping their wings or without swimming. Because of presence of this air bladder, they help in floating in the water for a while. So they have air bladder which helps in floating or which helps in buoyancy. This character is also absent in case of Chondrichthyes. Next character is mouth is terminal in position. So here mouth is terminal in position. If you see a fish, now for example if you see Chondrichthyes, I had told that they have a ventrally placed mouth, whereas when it comes to Ostrichthyes, they have a terminal mouth which is present at the tip. So in Chondrichthyes they have ventral mouth, whereas in Ostrichthyes these have a terminally placed mouth. Next is heart is two-chambered. just like chondrichthyes. Now this is the first character which normally is similar between chondrichthyes and ostrichthyes. These have two chambered heart with one auricle and one ventricle. Next character is these are cold-blooded organisms. They are also called poikilotherms. So what is a cold-blooded or a poikilotherm? They normally adjust their internal environment according to that of external. If there is any change in the external environment, they automatically change their internal environment. So that is what you mean by cold-blooded or poikilotherms. Next, when it comes to their sexes, these have sexes are separate. Fertilization is external. These are oviparous, showing direct development without any larval stage. You can see direct development in case of ostrichthyes. So that is about sexes are separate. That means they undergo sexual reproduction. Fertilization are external. Fusion of male and female gametes takes place outside the body. Oviparous, egg laying, and direct development without involvement of any larval stage in them. Next we will study few of the marine freshwater as well as domesticated type of ostrichthyes, that means examples for ostrichthyes. Before we go into the examples, we will just discuss this characters once again. When it comes to ostrichthyes, these are freshwater as well as marine water. You can find in both of the region these kind of fishes. These have streamlined body. Second character is they have a bony endoskeleton. That means their internal protective layer will be made of calcium, that is bony structure, which is very hard compared to cartilage in case of chondrichthyes. Here skin, it is covered with a particular large scales compared to the chondrichthyes. This will be cycloid scale or ctenoid scales. These are termed cycloid or ctenoid scales. They have 4 pairs of gill slits which are covered with the protective covering called operculum. This is one more character which is absent in case of chondrichthyes. Next, they have air bladder to float or for buoyancy. That means they need not swim continuously, but they can rest for a while, but that time also the fish doesn't sink in water. Instead, because of presence of this air bladder, they normally float in the water. Next is they have a terminal mouth. In chondrichthyes, they have a ventral mouth. Here heart is 2 chambered, just like chondrichthyes. These are similar characters between both of them. They have 2 chambered heart with 1 auricle and 1 ventricle. These are cold-blooded or poikilotherms. When it comes to their reproduction, these are sexually reproducing organism. A male is different from a female. Fertilization takes place outside the body. These are egg laying and their development is always direct. Now coming to the examples. Some of the examples for ostrichthyes will be marine forms are Exochetus as well as Hippocampus. Exochetus means these have a pectoral fin slightly large. So if you see this fish like this, they have this fin a little large which helps them on gliding over the water. So that is why they are commonly called flying fish. Hippocampus, seahorse. Freshwater fishes, labio, rohu. It is an Indian fish that is also called labio rohita anta karitare. Katla fishes normally consumable form. Clarus, magur anta common agi karitare. These are some of the examples for freshwater fishes. Domesticated andre aquarium alli ಬೆಳೆಸುವಂತ fishes ಗೆ betta, that is commonly called fighting fish, and Pterophyllum, that is commonly called angel fish with large flat body and large pectoral fins. So these are some of the examples for marine fishes, freshwater fishes and domesticated fishes which come under ostrichthyes. So that finishes the classes which belong to Pisces. Next we have to study about tetrapod classes. It includes amphibia, reptilia, aves as well as mammals. Next, when it comes to the tetrapod first class, that is amphibia. The name here amphi means dual. Bio, that is what is life. So these organisms have a dual life. That means these are living both in terrestrial as well as in aquatic region. So these can survive both in terrestrial region as well as aquatic region. That is why they are having dual life. Terrestrial region ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವುಗಳು ಫುಡ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ನೀರನ್ನ ಇವುಗಳು ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ದೆಮ್ ಬೋತ್ ಇನ್ ಟೆರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಇನ್ aquatic region. That is the first character. Second character will be, these have a moist skin without any scales. Andre, if you see fishes, we had studied that their body is covered with scales. Whereas in case of amphibians, these have moist skin, and this moist skin doesn't have any scales. No scales will be present. The skin will be moist because they have to survive both in terrestrial and aquatic region. For that purpose, they have a very moist skin. Next character is, their body is classified into head and trunk, where trunk contains two pairs of limbs, forelimb and hind limb will be present. So they have a particular head and trunk with two pairs of limbs. Next character is, their eyes have eyelids. Their eyes are covered with eyelids. Next one is, they have tympanum. Which helps in hearing. So these do not have, like us, external ear pinners won't be there, but in the body itself, in their skin itself, there will be a opening just behind the eye. That is what is called a tympanum, which helps in hearing. Next character will be, respiration takes place in different forms through lungs, gills and skin, that is through their moist skin. Lungs in the respiration ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು when the frog is in its adult form. Gills in the respiration ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು when they are in the larval form, ಅದನ್ನ tadpole ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Moist skin ಇಂದ ಯಾವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ during a process called aestivation. That is commonly called summer sleep. ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಹೈಯರ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಆದಾಗ ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀರಿನ ಅಂಶ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಟೆರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾನು ತುಂಬ ಹೀಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಥ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವುಗಳು ಇಡೀ ಸೀಸನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತವೆ. ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ಅ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿ ಫುಡ್. As well as their heart rate, respiratory rate, everything reduces. Even the metabolic rate also reduces. ಈ ಥರ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆದಾಗ they respire through their moist skin. That is only during their summer sleep or during aestivation process. So that is about respiration. Next is heart. They have a 3-chambered heart. In this 3-chambered heart, there are 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. So you can see right auricle, left auricle, and 1 ventricle can be identified. So that is about heart. Next, coming to the digestive or the alimentary canal plus their reproductive organ. Both the reproductive organ as well as digestive or alimentary canal opens to a common opening which is called cloaca. That is termed cloaca. Next character is regarding their reproduction. So they undergo sexual reproduction. Sexes are separate. Their fertilization is external. These are oviparous and their development is indirect, involving a larval stage, that is what is called tadpole. So here when it comes to their reproduction, they undergo sexual reproduction, the sexes are separate, fertilization is external, oviparous, indirect development, larval stage is called the tadpole stage. So here these organisms are also cold-blooded organisms. These are the characters regarding Amphibia class. Once again to discuss, these are having dual life. They live both in aquatic as well as in terrestrial region. When it comes to their skin, avugala skin moist ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ, soft ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ because they do not have any scales. Their head or their body is divided into head and trunk. The trunk contains 4 limbs, that is in together 2 pairs of limbs. Their eyes have eyelids. Tympanum is used for hearing. Their respiration takes place in different form in different age of the life cycle of the frog. That is lungs in adult, gills in tadpole, skin during aestivation process. Heart is 3-chambered with 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. Their digestive or alimentary canal as well as the reproductive tract opens to a common opening, that is called cloaca. Sexual reproduction with separate sexes, fertilization external, that this takes place in water region. So fertilization is external, oviparous in nature with indirect development involving a larval stage called tadpole stage. Larval stage retains in the water. Once they become adult, they start visiting the terrestrial region. These are also cold-blooded organisms. So that's about the characters for amphibia. We'll study about the examples for amphibia. So few of the examples will be bufo, commonly called toad, rana, common Indian frog, hyla, tree frog, salamandra, it is also called salamander, ichthyophis, that is a limbless amphibian. So these are the examples for class amphibia. Next class will be class reptilia. When it comes to reptilia, these are creeping or crawling organisms. Creeping or crawling. This either creep on the walls or crawl on the floor. So reptilia belongs or have organisms which are either creeping or crawling. Next is these are terrestrial. These doesn't visit water or very few are living in water. So most of them are terrestrial, very few will be aquatic in nature. Next character, their skin is rough, cornified skin. They have a dry skin as well as epidermal scales are present. They have epidermal scales. If you compare amphibians, they have a very moist skin with no scales, but when it comes to reptilia, they have a rough skin, cornified skin, dry skin which is covered with thick protective covering. Those are called epidermal scales. That is about their skin. Next one is their body is divided into head, neck, limbs, that is again 2 pairs of limbs, forelimb and hind limb, and also tail for balancing their body. Tail balances their body during locomotion. Next, these are poikilotherms, that is cold-blooded organisms. Next character, their respiration takes place through lungs. When it comes to heart, they have 3-chambered heart. Exception are there is only one exception, except crocodile, because crocodiles have 4-chambered heart. So when it comes to their heart, they have 3-chambered heart with 2 auricles and 1 ventricle, just like amphibia, except in case of crocodile. Crocodiles have 4-chambered heart. When it comes to their reproduction, here sexes are separate. It is obvious that they undergo sexual reproduction. Next, fertilization is internal. These are oviparous and their development is direct. So they undergo sexual type of reproduction. They have a separate male and female organism. Their fertilization is internal. They are oviparous in nature. Their development will be direct development. So these are the characters for reptilia. Apart from these general characters, there is a special character which is restricted to only few of the organisms. Example, snakes as well as lizards. That character is skin cast. That means their skin doesn't grow. So once they are of this big size, their skin doesn't grow as the organism increases their size. So what happens, as the organism develops or increases their size, they build a new skin from within and the older skin is removed. So that is what is called skin cast. ಹಾವು ಪೊರೆ ಬಿಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಂತ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಹಾವು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಪೊರೆ ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕಿನ್, ಆ ಬಾಡಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆದ ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹೊಸ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಬಂದ ನಂತರ ಹಳೆ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಳ್ಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. This is a character which is restricted to reptilia. In reptilia, not all organisms do undergo skin cast, very few. Some of the snakes as well as lizards only undergo this particular skin casting process. So these are the characters of class Reptilia. Once again we'll discuss. These are creeping or crawling organisms restricted to terrestrial region. They have skin which is rough, cornified skin and dried skin with protective covering, that is by epidermal scales. They have their body divided into head, neck, paired of limbs as well as a tail for balancing during locomotion. These are cold-blooded organisms. Their respiration takes place through lungs. They have a heart which is 3-chambered except in case of crocodiles which have 4-chambered. Their sexes are separate. Their fertilization is internal. These are egg-laying or oviparous organisms and their development is direct without any larval stage. A special character only restricted to reptilia is having skin cast in case of lizards as well as snakes. Next we'll study about few of the examples restricted to class Reptilia. Some of the examples for Reptilia will be Chelone, that is turtle, Testudo, that is tortoise. This is a marine or freshwater living organism. This is a terrestrial organism. Chameleon, this is tree lizard, Gosumbe anta kammana karitivi. Calotis, that is garden lizard. Crocodilus, that is crocodile. Alligator, Hemidactylus, wall lizard, common agi Indian houses alli siguvantaddu. Poisonous snakes will be Naja, that is cobra. Bangarus, that is crate. Vipera, that is commonly called viper. So all these are the examples for class Reptilia. Next is class Aves. Aves. Characters of aves will be their body is covered with feathers. A special character restricted to aves will be some of them can fly and some are flightless. There are flying aves as well as flightless. Example for flightless will be ostrich, emu, kiwi, all these are flightless birds. Next character is they have toothless beaks. They have toothless beak which helps in engulfing the food what they capture. Next is these have 4 limbs which are modified into wings which help them in flying. So the 4 limbs are modified into wings which help them in flight. Next character is they have hind limbs which are covered with scales which help them in locomotion. The locomotion will be either moving, pecking, capturing of food as well as swimming. So these have hind limbs which are not covered with any feathers, instead they are covered with scales. Next character will be their skin is dry but they have oil glands near their tail feathers. You have seen some of the aquatic birds where they bend their neck towards their tail and keep on rubbing something all over their body. That is nothing but they have a oil gland which is present near their tail. They pierce this and eject out the oil and spread all over their body so that the water in which they live will be repelled while they move or locomote in the water. So they have skin which is dry but oil glands are present, that is exactly near the tail feathers. That is the sixth character. Next character is they have their endoskeleton ossified. That means they are bony in nature, but inside the body of the birds the long bones are not having any solid structure. Instead they have pneumatic bones. Pneumatic ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ hollow ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ, empty bones ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. Endoskeleton is bony in structure or ossified, made of calcium. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಹೋಲೋ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಆ ಹೋಲೋ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ pneumatic bones ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Because of presence of this pneumatic bones, ಅವುಗಳ ಬಾಡಿ ವೇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಾಡಿ ವೇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ they can easily fly in the air. That is the seventh character. Next is they are homeotherms. These are homeotherms. That means they are warm-blooded organisms. They do not change their internal environment for any change in the external environment. ಬಾಡಿಯ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆದರೂ ತನ್ನ ಬಾಡಿಯ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಹೋಮಿಯೋಥರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವಾರ್ಮ್ ಬ್ಲಡೆಡ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So respiration takes place through lungs, heart, four-chambered. When it comes to digestion, they have two special structure. One is crop, another is gizzard. Crop helps in storing the food, whereas gizzard, which helps in crushing the grains or hard substances they consume. So that is the digestion process. They have a crop for storing of food and gizzard which helps in crushing hard substances what they consume. Next is about their reproduction. Here also sexes are separate. Sexes are separate. Fertilization, internal. These are oviparous and the development will be always direct without involving any larval stage. Once again, to discuss about the characters of class apes, these are having body covered with feathers. Some of them fly, some are flightless birds. They have a toothless beak. Their forelimbs are modified into wings. Their hind limbs have scales and their function will be locomotion, pecking, capturing of food or holding of food as well as swimming. When it comes to skin, they have a dry skin but oily glands are restricted to the tail region which they use for spreading all over their body, especially the aquatic birds. Their endoskeleton is bony in structure but they are hollow within. That is what is called pneumatic bones, which reduces their body weight and helps in flying. They are homeotherms or warm-blooded organisms. Their respiration takes place through lungs. Heart is four-chambered. Digestion involves a large crop for storing food and gizzard for crushing the hard substances what they consume. Sexes are separate here. Fertilization is internal. Birth of young ones, that will be through oviparous, that is through eggs, and their development is direct in nature. So these are the characters. Next we will study few of the examples coming under class aves. Examples will be corvus, crow; columbia, pigeon; stacula, that is parrot; struthio, that is ostrich; pavo, that is peacock; Aplanodytes, that is penguin. This is one more example for flightless bird; neophron, that is vulture. Next we will study about last class, that is class Mammalia. So mammals, these are spread throughout the world in any type of condition, that is in ice, dry or desert, grassland, forest, mountains, aquatic region, anywhere you can find this mammals. These are very much common. Few of them live in terrestrial region. In that few terrestrial organisms, some of them also fly. Few are restricted to aquatic region also, which swim. The special character in case of Mammalia, which gives the name Mammalia, is presence of mammary glands, with which they feed their young ones, that is mammary glands. Next character will be, these are having skin that is hairy. That means their whole body is covered with skin which contains thick hair or fur, which helps in protecting them against any type of environmental conditions. Next is, they have teeth in their jaws. So their jaws have teeth which helps them in biting or crushing the food and then consuming it or passing it to the digestive system. Rest of the characters which are similar to that of aves, that means these are homeotherms in nature. They have a proper complete digestive system. Their respiration takes place through lungs. They have a 4-chambered heart with 2 auricles as well as 2 ventricles. But when it comes to reproduction, here the sexes are separate once again. They undergo only sexual type of reproduction. Fertilization here is internal. Most of them are viviparous in nature. So viviparous in nature means they give birth to young ones. Very few exceptions are present which are oviparous in nature, that is duck-billed platypus. So these are viviparous, that means they give birth to young ones, not laying eggs. Here the development will be completely direct. There is no involvement of any larval stage. So these are the characters of class Mammalia. Once again to discuss, these are not restricted to any one type of environmental condition. They might vary from deserts, grasslands, forest, mountain, etc. Few of them fly, few of them are restricted to aquatic region, few are terrestrial in nature. They have a special character which makes them or gives the name Mammalia, that is presence of mammary glands with which they feed their young ones. They have a hairy skin to protect their body. Their teeth are present in their mouth or in the jaws, which helps in crushing the food. Apart from this one, they have other characters which are similar to that of aves. That means these are homeotherms. Heart is having 4-chambered, respiration through lungs, digestive system is complete. Sexual reproduction takes place in them. Sexes are separate. They have internal type of fertilization and are viviparous in nature. Give birth to young ones. Very few are oviparous. So that's about the characters of class Mammalia. Few of the examples will be, so Ornithorhynchus, commonly called platypus, these are oviparous in nature. Macropus, kangaroo. Pteropus, flying fox. Camelus, camel. Macaca, that is monkey. Ratus, rat. Canis, that is dog. Felis, cat. Elephas, that is elephant. Equus, that is horse. Delphinus, that is dolphin. Balanoptera, that is blue whale. And Panthera tigris, that is tiger, this is a scientific name. And Panthera leo, that will be a lion. So these are the examples for class Mammalia. So that's all in this chapter. We have studied in detail about different phylums which come under kingdom Animalia. So that's all for this session, as well as that's all is there in this particular chapter. Thank you.